I ended up having to take my mom's boyfriend car, and he was generous enough. And on my way back to work, I literally said, God, don't let me have to tell these people how good you are. Hey, Freedom Frugalers, it's time for another wonderful episode of Frugal Freedom. I know you guys see, in addition to my wardrobe, these aren't actual glasses, they're blue light blocking glasses. Found out that they're very useful, but that's neither here nor there. I can talk about those in another video. It is now time for a Wellness Wednesday. And if you're new to the channel, please allow me to be your virtual mentor. My name is Izzy, and I teach you all that I know about finance, well-being, and productivity. Today, I want to talk about what happened when COVID hit, okay? Let me preface this. So, back in 2019, December 2019, I wrote out everything because I was tired of where my life was going. And it was almost the start of a new year. So I wrote down every single thing that I wanted to do within the year, okay? Within the 2020 year, that is. So, but I didn't do everything kind of like as a list. I did what I wanted to do in every single month. And I'll have you guys know that 2020 has been the absolute best year ever for me, okay? And I mean just in terms of boosting my confidence. So believe it or not, I actually wanted to start a channel about 3 or 4 years ago, but you know, I was scared. What would I even talk about? Okay, I was so scared that I just never started, and what I did start, I did not finish. So this isn't my first run doing YouTube. This is the first one that I've actually stuck to because now I have a vision for what I do. So with that in mind, let's talk about how the channel came about. So in January, I didn't have a dime to my name. I had spent every single dime that I had because I had just left my job in October and I only had 3 months of savings worked up. I managed to get a couple of engineering gigs where I would make 25, 50 bucks here to mix a song. So I was making about $100, $200 a week or a month, excuse me. And that was kind of helping me sustain what I needed to do. But then January hit and it was like things just came to a halt. So by the time January hit, I was running out of money, and I got to February and didn't have a dime to my name. March came, and mind you, I was going to move to Minnesota. I left my job back in October to move to Minnesota by that November. So the opportunity came up again, and I was so sick and tired of where I was at again. And I said, okay, God, you give me an opportunity to do it again. I'm going to do it again. Little did I know that he didn't want me to move to Minnesota. And I'll tell you why I believe that. Okay, so what happened? I got a temp job working. I had to clean up this whole apartment complex. It took me 2 days to do it. And when I got done, the job only took 2 days because they were looking for they had somebody, but he wasn't going to be able to start until then. And the place looked a mess. Like, I'm telling you, 400 units, I had to clean the entire apartment building. Now, granted, the people that were managers there, they are extremely nice, and I'm actually going to go back and kind of like talk with them. But needless to say, I made $150. The bus ticket to get to the Greyhound was, I believe it was $200. So I asked my friend. I said, "Hey," the friend that wanted me to come out there. I said, "Hey, I got 150 of it. Can you spare the extra 50?" So by that time, he was like, "I don't think it's the best move right now because me and my girl are going through it." And yada yada. So I had already put my money into the Greyhound, and I was like, dang, I kind of lost that because my mom helped me out. And I was like, I kind of lost that money, so I ended up having to pay my mom back. But a miraculous thing happened, right? So I ended up getting a job working at a warehouse, and So I ended up getting a job working at a warehouse, and it was one of the best things that I ever did, because I ended up knowing the guy that works with me now. He's actually my supervisor. He babysat me when I was little, when I was a little kid. So and in fact he brought up stories to prove like he knew who I was, and I was like, oh man, that is what. So we ended up becoming great. We ended up becoming great coworkers. We ended up, and then in that moment I realized I am here to settle and change myself. This is what I needed to do. And at that moment I realized, okay, anything I don't like about myself, now is the time to change it. So when it came to saving money, when it came to my appearance and how I should carry myself and things like that, and just how I perceive the world in that short span of time from really April until now, I consider myself a music professional. I'm an artist, an engineer, and producer. I spent about 15 plus years building and working on my craft doing that, and I was so engulfed in doing music that it consumed me. So that's really what I was doing at the start of the year. Was I was releasing more music, and me and my brother, we actually got a studio together, and I think this fan is on. Doop doop doop. So the fan is off now. So me and my brother, we got a little storage unit this year, and we got a studio, and we made a couple of dollars off the studio. We brought a couple of people in, but it was mainly for us to build our craft, because our mom was like, you're not going to have a studio in my house. Fast forward to maybe July. It was July. We had an incident happen, and prior to that I had always said, okay, I don't think that music is the route that I should be going. So I always internally felt that music wasn't the way in for me. At the start of this year, I had in my gut that I knew I wasn't going to be doing anything music related that would make me successful. However, because it was a part of my life, and it was what I did day in and day out, I just couldn't see anything past that. Well, this incident sparked that. We had a major, well, I wouldn't say major, it was an incident that happened that ultimately came out of nowhere. But that did not stop me in July. It did, however, shape the way I think. It did, however, shape the way I thought by September. So by September, the issue arose again. I had forgot all about it, and out of nowhere, I was actually working on a course to teach artists how to develop themselves. Right after I did the video, I turned my phone off airplane mode, and I did a lot. I got a lot of text messages. It was like bing, 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 bing. And it was just hate message after hate message after hate message. And mind you, I did nothing to the person. I really tried to make sure. But when it came out of nowhere, I was like, where's this coming from? I consider myself a very spiritual person. So I don't believe in coincidence. So I asked God, I was like, hey, God, where's this coming from? What are you trying to tell me? And I always ask for signs, and I feel like this was my in-your-face sign that I needed to do. So once I put that in perspective, I then started seeing like how everyone felt towards me, or their feelings towards me, and it wasn't good. So I just decided that, okay, I need to focus on my journey with God. I need to focus on me. I need to focus on building my character. I need to focus on that. And I had been doing it at the start of this year. Like I said, this has never been a better year for me to build my confidence. So this was more like I felt like a level up. And that's how I felt. So I decided at that moment in September that I would just completely forget about music. Okay? Not completely forget about it, but I would just stop every situation that I'm in. I would just stop everything. I did say that by the time I got a new car, it would be mine. Okay? Nobody can take it from me. All right? And that is the main thing that I found out. That is the main thing that I found out about myself. The reason why I do things through self-awareness is that I don't want anybody to take anything from me that I can say is mine. Nobody can take this from me, okay? I'm going to go more in depth on that. I won't do it on this video because this is my COVID story. So, by May, we ended up getting COVID checks. We ended up getting the stimulus checks. And mine came a lot late, so that's why I say May, because mine came in the form of a check, an actual check that I had to cash. But when I got that $1,200, actually a month before I got the $1,200, I did a lot of planning because I was like, at that moment, it was uncertain times. And keep in mind, by the time, it was a good thing I didn't go to Minnesota and try to find a job, because I had a job lined up, but I kid you not, a week after I had set everything, they shut Minnesota down, and I was like, oh my gosh, now I got to find somewhere else to go. So that's what, sparked me to try to find a job here. I left that part out, I'm sorry. But, so then I said, okay, you know what I'm going to do with my COVID check? I'm going to take this time to pay off as much debt as I can. When I tell you guys, the smartest decision I have ever made. Okay, I got myself back on track with my credit. I got myself back on track with my finances. It was the biggest boost that I could ever have. All right. But I didn't stop there. I made a lot of mistakes from then on, but now back to my car story. I said I would never buy a car. I ended up having to bike. I ended up having a bike for 2 weeks. I rode a bike for 2 weeks to work. Luckily, my job is 6 minutes down the road, which a bike ride is like 30 minutes. But that's because I was lazy. And we have hills in Tallahassee, and I mean they are steep. So it was a 30-minute ride to work, so I had to get up every day, 7 o'clock, just to get to work by 7:30, so I wouldn't be too late if I got there, and I can make time for what I need to. So that taught me a lot. And then my coworker, then, God bless her soul, I hope she's doing okay, because she ended up leaving. Before she left, though, she offered to pick me up and take me back home every single day. Okay, guys? And moments like those you cherish, okay? From then on, I was like, okay, I need to get on track with owning a car. So then, when she left, that left another coworker to have to drive me. And I think she only drove me twice before I realized, okay, my mom has a car that's sitting in the driveway. If I can just pay her money for this car, I'll have this car. So fortunately, my mom only wanted money for the brake job to get the brakes done, and the car was mine. So I paid the $200 for the cars, and it was a 1996 Honda Civic LX. So I paid $200, but because the car was so old, I ended up paying about another $300-400, I think it was up to $400 for repairs and things like that. And but I was paying all this money, but the car was still having issues. And then it got to a point towards the end. I think I drove it for 2 months. It got to a point where the car I was scared that if I cut it off, it wouldn't cut back on, or it would take too long to cut back on. So it got so bad one day that the car didn't cut on for 1 whole hour. And I mean, this was from lunchtime. I had missed the meeting and everything, because we usually have our meeting. And the funny thing is I wrote down 75 things out of the 360 at the time that I wanted God to do the day before. 360 things that I wanted God to do within the next year. Okay? And three of those was a car for everyday travel, a car just to have, one of my cars, and a car to have for nights and weekends out. I wanted the Tesla Model X. I still want the Tesla Model X, and I still believe that I'm going to get the Tesla Model X in Jesus' name. So, uh, so the day after that is when the car didn't start for a whole hour, and I ended up having to take my mom's boyfriend car, and he was generous enough. And on my way back to work, I literally said, God, don't let me have to tell these people how good you are. All right? I did say that. I said, God, on the way there, I said, God, don't make me tell these people how good you are. So I go to work. I get there, and I'm talking to one of my other coworkers. And I'm like, I'm sick of that car. It started smoking on me. Like, it actually started smoking on me before it, when it did start. So, and then after that, it just never cut back on. So, after that day. So he says, well, you might want to look on Facebook Marketplace. Or better yet, I'll find what I can do. I'll see what I can do. And so, I can almost cry. Literally, the day before that, I wrote my list down. The next day, my car breaks down. The day after that, I forgot about the whole incident. I'm at work 10 minutes into me being in the work. And my coworker hands me, this is a different guy. Well, the same guy that said I will do, I'll see what I can find. He hands me a sticky note that says what the name of the car was, how many miles it had, and what color it was. Actually, he said the wrong color at first. And when we looked up the car, I was like, I need that car. I need that car, right? So he told me what he wanted for it. And mind you, it's basically a brand new car. It was a 2011. That's all I'm going to give you. It's a 2011. And it only had 20,000 miles on it, right? Only had 20,000 miles on it. Basically brand new car. And it's 2020. So 9 years. So he tells me the price for it. This man said the price was $1,500. I kid you not. Within a week, I had $1,000 for this man, and I paid him, and he gave me the title, and I had that car within a week. Okay, so then I said, well, we're still going through COVID. I need to make sure my money is right. And this is back in October. It's now November at the time of this video. So I says, hey, I don't know how I'm going to pay you. He actually gave me till March to pay off the $500 extra. But I was like, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know. Because at that time, now I got all these extra bills. And now car insurance is going to cost me. I went from paying $86 to $200 for this brand new car. And I'm like, I basically own it. So, I kid you not, I paid the $200 in October for the car insurance. Didn't see any way that I was going to make any extra money. Without having to do anything else but work my job, I was able to pay him off in this month of November that you're watching this, the full $500 within this month, within 2 paychecks. I don't know how I did it, because usually when I pay all my bills, I'm down to $100. Okay, so I have to tell you guys how good God is through the COVID. So that's what I did. But I said, we don't stop there. We don't stop there. If I can get a car in my name that I own, that no one can take away from me, I can now get a house, right? I am working on a rental property, and my friend, she doesn't want me to talk about it, but I am working on a rental property because I know how good God is. I'm working on somewhere to live that I can say is mine. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Now, I will have an update. And I know it seems far-fetched to do it in the time of COVID, but I know who I serve. And I know that he can do amazing things. I'm talking about this man up here. I know he can do amazing things. I've seen him do it. I've seen him get me out of situations where when I got through it, I couldn't explain it. So I don't know who this is for. I don't know who this is meant for, but I will tell you that my purpose for this channel that I created back in September, when I started with 10 videos Monday through Friday back to back, I knew that my vision was to help people, to show people that I made a lot of mistakes, but I'm here. I'm here, and I will be showcasing my journey, not to brag, not to boast, not to just tell you how good God is, but because I want to show you that if God can do it for somebody who was willing to sacrifice and learn and say, I'm going to give up everything to follow you, then I know he can do the same for you. Like I said, I don't know who this message is for. And at the time of me recording this, I actually had a bad day at work. This wasn't even supposed to be a spiritual video. I was just supposed to tell you guys about my COVID story. And what I did through COVID. But I need for someone to hear this message. And I need for you to let me know in the comments below if you are willing to be free. Because I am willing to be free with you. I am just a comment away. I am just an email away. Shoot, I'm even just a phone call away. I am willing to be free with you. So if you're ready to be free, type in the comments below, I'm ready to be free. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you get updated on new videos every Wednesday and Friday. Just because we are in an unpredictable time doesn't mean that you should panic. God doesn't give us the spirit of fear. He gives us the power of this. Use this. My only regret was that I wasn't on top of this at the top of COVID. But that's all I have to say. Until next time, stay frugal until you're free. Peace.